for me to be here after a very, very long time. Yeah. I think maybe 20 years ago or something we came. But we were here in 1975 when the land was donated to Srila Prabhupada. Huh? Okay.
Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate to have amongst us His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu. Prabhuji was born in Los Angeles, California in US. He joined ISKCON in Boulder, Colorado in 1969. He met Srila Prabhupada in 1970 in Los Angeles where he got initiated. He opened the first temple in Dallas, Texas. He was the president of Portland Temple from 1972 to 1978. And in 1980, he moved to Colombia and preached Spanish. In 1984, he moved to Vrindavan. 1986, he was appointed the president of Krishna Balram Temple for 3 years and 3 months. Around 1988, Baba Madhav Das approached him to take over the restoration project of Vrindakund. He started taking people out on parikrama since he was president. In 2003, a beautiful carved stone temple of Srimati Vrindadevi was inaugurated in Vrindakund, which Dinabandhu Prabhu maintained for 30 years. Among the various other significant projects in Vrindavan, Dinabandhu Prabhu has helped in restoring the Samadhi Mandir of the great saint Srila Sanatan Goswami. He has also been an active supporter to restore the sacred river Yamuna in Vrindavan. Whoever he comes across, he humbly invites them to come to Vrindavan and have darshan of all the holy places. So we are very, very fortunate to have Prabhuji amongst us. Prabhuji very wonderfully explains the pastimes of Vrindavan. So we are very fortunate to have Prabhuji. So let us heartily welcome Prabhuji by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So again, it's a very great ecstasy for me after a long time to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Nitai Gaur. You have any special name for them? No, the Gaur Nitai. Just Gaur Nitai. And Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan, and to be at the lotus feet of Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra Maharani, and to be here at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and be here with all the wondrous devotees of this Hyderabad Yatra. We have harmonium. My friend Arta Bandhu, he likes to play harmonium if there is one. Where did he go? No, where did Arta Bandhu go? Oh. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Sodanandana Prajanarandana Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Yashodanandana Prajanarandana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Nitalila Vishnu Prabhupada Tavange Sudesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Guri Vaishnava Ki Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Goswami Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Sri Navadip Maya Badam Ki Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Bolo Sri Sri Krishna Baldav Ki Tai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled body. All glories to the assembled body. All glories to the assembled body. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, what's it called? Puranjana becomes a woman in his next life. Text number 6. No, we already have one already. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Kanyo Pagudo Nasta Sri Kripano Vishayatmaka Nasta Pragyo Ritaisrayo Gandharva Yavanayar Bala Kanyo Pagudo Nasta Sri Kripano Visayatmaka Nasta Pragyo Ritaisvaryo Gandharva Yavanayar Bala Kripano Visayatmaka Nasta Pragyo Ritaisvaryo Gandharva Yavanayar Bala Ladies? Kanya, by the daughter of time. Upagudaha, being embraced. Nastasri, bereft of all beauty. Kripanaha, miser. Vishaya Atmakaha, addicted to sense gratification. Nasta Pragya, bereft of intelligence. Rita Aisrayaha, bereft of opulence. Gandharva, by the Gandharvas. Yavanai, by the Yavanas. Balat, by force. Translation: when King Puranjana was embraced by Kalakanya, he gradually lost all his beauty. Having been too much addicted to sex, he became very poor in intelligence and lost all his opulence. Being bereft of all possessions, he was conquered forcibly by the Gandharvas and the Yavanas. Translation, please repeat. When King Puranjana was embraced by Kalakanya, he gradually lost all his beauty. Having been too much attached to sex, he became very poor in intelligence and lost all his opulence. Being bereft of all possessions, he was conquered forcibly by the Gandharvas and the Yavanas. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When a person is attacked by the invalidity of old age and is still addicted to sense gratification, he gradually loses all his personal beauty, intelligence, and good possessions. He thus cannot resist the forceful attack of the daughter of time. Kanyo pragudo nasto sri kripana visayatmaka nasto pragyo vritaisvaryo gandharva yavanaya balat. When King Puranjana was embraced by Kala Kanya, he gradually lost all his beauty. Having been too much addicted to sex, he became very poor in intelligence and lost all his opulences. Being bereft of all possessions, he was conquered forcibly by the Gandharvas and the Yavanas. Ummagyan timirandasya gyananjana chalakaya chaksurunmilitam jena Shri Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabadandhyam Adadanastrinan Tairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Anjana was very warmly embraced by the Kala Kanya, the daughter of time. Because time takes away everything from us. And especially for one who's too much addicted to sense gratification, time is just passing and he doesn't realize it. And he loses, by addiction to sense gratification, he loses all his opulence and beauty and everything. Just like we have the experience of seeing the devotees, their faces are always bright. Prabhupada was telling that all my disciples, they were very poor condition, but since chanting Hare Krishna and taking to this Krishna, they all become very bright-faced and dancing happily like peacocks. But we see sometimes we're on Sankirtan and we run into some person who was a devotee before, but he fell down due to sense gratification. We see his face is dark. We have that experience. As long as we're in the fire of Krishna consciousness, then our face is very bright. But as soon as we become again addicted to sense gratification, we lose all our brightness. We have seen so many times. So this is the position of King Prachinibarhi, but he's telling he's using a story of Puranjana to try to instruct him. That if you remain addicted to sense gratification, then you'll lose everything. Just like I can't remember the name of the sage. I read this story one time in the Puranic Encyclopedia. A great big book like this has all the stories of the Puranas. There was one sage, somehow the demigods wanted to make him fall down. So they sent one very beautiful Apsara there. And he began to enjoy with her, and he enjoyed with her for a very long time. They found newer and newer ways to express their love to each other. In this way it went on for a very long time. One day, he told the Apsara that I have to go do my Sandhya Vandana. He said, for many years you have not done your Sandhya Vandana. Now why you want? What do you mean for many years? You just came this morning, and we've been having a nice time together. He did not realize that time was passing. He said, what that I came this morning? I came, she said 900 years, 9 months, and 9 days before. Then he realized that he wasted all this time. 900, almost 1,000 years he wasted. Because sense gratification just bewilders your brain completely. So, what to do? Just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he has a very beautiful song. Sometimes Gaur Purnima time. It's like 40 verses long, but I always try to learn a few verses every Gaur Purnima. It's called Godruma Bhajan Upadesh. And he says in one verse, Ramani Jana Sangha Sukham Chasake Charame Bhayadam Purushartaharam. Harinam Sudha Rasamatamatir Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum. So if you've ever been to Navadip Mandal Prikrama, then you know there's one island called Godruma, where Bhaktivinoda Thakur had his house, and very interesting place. So he says, Bhaja Godruma Kanana. In Godrum there's nice forest. Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunjavidum. And so many kunjas there. And Vidum means the moon. Just like last night, we were seeing the beautiful full moon. So Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunjavidum. Just worship that golden moon of the forest of the kunjas of Godrum. So he begins this verse, Ramani Jana Sangha Sukham Chasake. Ramani means young girls. That Sukham, that happiness associating with young girls. Ramani Jana Sangha Sukham Chasake. Oh, that is very nice. Ramani Jana Sangha Sukham. Oh, the happiness of that. But Charame Bhayadam Purushartaharam. We're just reading here. Charame, in the end, Bhayadam becomes very fearful. We'll see. Paranjana, he begins, just like now he's being attacked. All the diseases of old age. Just like our whole life we preach about birth, death, and old age. And now finally we're getting the Sakshat Darshan of old age. And it's no fun. Just like somehow or other, this half of the faces become paralyzed for a little bit. We're taking some treatment, it's getting better. So many problems are there in old age. Bhayadam, very fearful condition. Chaname Bhayadam Purushartaharam. Just like this poor sage, for 990 years he was enjoying with his apsara. He didn't even know the time is passing. So what to do? We're all trapped by this. So Bhaktivinoda, he says, Harinama Sudha Rasamatamatir. You have to become absorbed. Harinama Sudha, the nectar. Harinama Sudha Matamata. Matamata, you just become absorbed in chanting the holy name, in the nectar. Sudha, the nectar of chanting the holy name. Otherwise, there's no solution. Harinama Sudha Matamatatir Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunja Vidum. And just beg for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the golden moon of the forests of Godrum. So this is just like one time we were walking on Venice Beach with Srila Prabhupada, and there was one professor who was head of the Theological Union of Berkeley University. He loved Prabhupada too much. So he came and we were walking on the beach, and he said, because he's dealing with religion, he said, Srila Prabhupada, how do you deal with the problem of lust? Every religion has to deal with this problem. And Prabhupada stopped, he dug his cane in the sand and turned around, and he said, unless you become Krishna conscious, there's no solution. There's no solution. Then he took a few more steps, he turned again and he said, unless you become Krishna conscious, there's no solution. So we have to become completely absorbed in this nectar. The holy name is so nectarine that we can actually overcome this attraction. But we have to become matamatir. We have to completely absorb ourselves. Sometimes, just like when we were growing a plant, we put a fence around it, no? So the cows won't come and people won't step on it. But that fence, that is only meant for the protection. It's not meant for the nourishment of the tree. We have to nourish the tree. Just like in the beginning, we make so many fences. Women are all witches, householders are in Maya. These are all just fences, but they're not going to nourish our creeper. We need these in the beginning. Ladies shouldn't be disappointed. We need these things in the beginning, but that's not going to nourish our creeper. Only if we pour water of the holy name on the root of our devotional creeper, then it will grow and flourish. And one day it will break through the fences and become a glorious tree all by itself. So in the beginning, we may need all these little artificial fences. We stop eating so much, we don't take so much sweets. All these things are there. This is for protection. But ultimately, we have to nourish the devotional creature. And the best way Mahaprabhu has given us in this dark Kali Yuga, by chanting very loudly and very enthusiastically, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hari Nama Sudha Mata Mata Matir Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidum. Because we see, we have seen so many times, those persons, they're always criticizing householders and always saying this, that, and they're the first ones to raise the white flag of surrender. But that person, he just goes on doing his service. He's not criticizing anybody, not just completely absorbed in doing his service, distributing his books, doing whatever service, pujari service. He's always doing his service. Then we see year after year after year after year, he's still in saffron. But that person always telling, they're all Maya. This is the householders are Maya. This is the first one. You see them wearing the white flag of surrender. So this is, Prabhupada said, this is the only solution. You have to become Krishna conscious, otherwise there's no solution. So here we see Narad Muni is going to try and break King Prachandi Barhi from his life of sense gratification. Hare Krishna. So I'm so very happy to be here, because I was here when this land was donated by our good old friend G. Pullareddy. And so in 1975, there was the temple opening of Krishna Balaram Mandir was there. So we all came for Gaur Purnima, but Gaur Purnima, Krishna Balaram Mandir is inaugurated on Ram Nomi. So that's a long time. So then we went to Puri, and we did a Pandal program in Puri. Then we jumped on a train. Oh my God, this is 1975. It must have been a 36-hour train from Puri down to Hyderabad. In 1975, they didn't have padded seats. We just sat on hard wood for 36 hours. Oh. That was miserable. So then we got here, and this land had been donated, so Prabhupada was doing somewhere nearby there was a big Pandal program. In those days, we didn't have any money, so there was some hotel under construction, so we were all sleeping in the cement dust of this hotel I didn't even know where it is now. Because we were very poor those days. So we stayed in this hotel, and every day we do Harinam. I can remember doing Harinam all around the Charminar. I don't think we better do them all around. And I remember there was 2 gigantic bulls, and there was a cow there, so they started fighting. And everybody just ran, all the devotees just ran, and all the people, everybody was screaming, and these 2 bulls were just Nowadays, we went there yesterday, I didn't see any bulls or cows or anything. That 1975, bulls and cows were walking around the streets. Then one day, G. Fullereti, he had made a big feast for all the devotees. Maybe here on the land, I don't remember where it was. That was, 1975. As his house, okay. We did it at his house. And somehow there were so many devotees, he ran out of rasgullas. So he ran to a shop, he brought a big pot, and he was continued passing out rasgullas to everyone. And I was way at the end of the line. And I guess I looked really in anxiety, because somehow or other he got to me, and he just took that rasgulla, and he just pushed it right into my mouth. Haribo! So G. Fullereti pushed the rasgulla in my mouth. Then he says, Swamiji, we have to do the duty. Prabhupada says, that's monkey's duty. Nobody cares for the monkey's duty. Krishna says, Sarvadhamam parichaja, mamekam saram braja. That's all. Then after this, they had to write down their questions instead of asking. Somebody asked, what do you think of this Mahesh Yogi? And Prabhupada says, I do not know who is this Mahesh Yogi. All I know is Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadhamam parichaja, mamekam saram braja. And I believe it. That's all. It was coming to 100 and something. That meant they were going to have to give me a whole bunch of change. So they didn't want to do that. So then they looked through their books. They said, are you married? Yes. How old are you? If they found some special fare for young married couples, it was less than $100. So they had to give me a few rupees change. So it just so happened that was the same plane that Prabhupada was on. And Prabhupada was sitting right next to the door. So my wife and I came up the ramp, and we walked in the door. There was Prabhupada sitting there, and Prabhupada was so shocked to see us. He didn't know any other devotees were on the plane. I was going to ride 36 hours up to Delhi. So Prabhupada, he was so shocked, he gave us his blessings, and then we went back. And I felt this was the safest flight I've ever been on. I knew Krishna's going to hold this plane all the way to Delhi. So anyway, now we're so very happy to see this beautiful temple has come here. So many wonderful devotees are here. Everybody, they were doing Harinam through the streets this morning when we came. And it's so gladdening to see what a nice temple has come up here and nice preaching is going on. And this deity of Madan Mohan is so beautiful. We're just enchanted by their beauty. So you know the story of the original Madan Mohan? After Krishna left the planet, then somehow or other his great-grandson, Bajranab, came here to Braj. And he came to Braj. And he began to make so many monuments here and there, and temples and deities he established. So in the Krishna book and in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in a purport, Prabhupada explains that the forest of Vrindavan, the forest, because Vrindavan, Van means forest. Now it looks more like your Hyderabad than forest, but it stretches from the municipality now known as Vrindavan, 24 miles up to Nandagaon. It's a big forest in those 5,000 years ago. But that particular municipality became famous at Vrindavan because that is where Krishna's most famous pastime took place, Rasa Lila. So he wanted to make special deity for Vrindavan town. So he called Vishwakarma and he asked him to make a nice deity of Krishna. At that time, the only person who had directly seen Lord Krishna who was left on the planet was Mother Uttara, the mother of Maharaj Frikit. So they called her from Mathura. When she saw that first deity, she said, from the toes to the kati stall, to the waist, that is Sakshat Brajananandan Shamsundar. So that deity became Madan Mohan. So he wasn't satisfied, so he made another deity. When she saw that deity, she said, the Vakshastal, chest, that is Sakshat Brajananandan Shamsundar. So that one became Gopinath. So then he made a third deity. When Mother Uttara saw that third deity, immediately she covered her face. Because in our old Vedic culture, the younger girls cannot open their face in front of the elders. So she immediately recognized, this is my ancestor Brajananandan Shamsundar. She immediately covered her face. So anyway, so the lotus feet, that is Madan Mohan. So anyway, over the years, Madan Mohan was lost. One time, Advaitacharya, he came on pilgrimage of Braj, and just below the Madan Mohan temple, maybe you've seen a temple there called Advaitavat. There was a banyan tree there. Underneath that banyan tree, he found this deity. That time he was known as Madana Gopal. So we go there, very enchanting deity. And now they fixed it up so nice. It was all broken down, and now it's very nicely fixed up, beautiful dioramas and paintings and everything. And they're always very friendly to us there. So beautiful, enchanting deity of Radha Madana Gopal. Very nicely decorated, very beautiful. But anyway, at that time, when Advaitacharya was doing his pilgrimage, Vrindavan was just forest. There was nothing there, a few villagers living here and there. So he took that deity and gave him to one Purushottam Chobe in Mathura. Because in Mathura, many of the Brahmins, they're Chaturvedis. But in Brishbhasa language, we say Chobe. So he was Purushottam Chobe. So one time when Sanatana Goswami was in Puri, Mahaprabhu told him, you go back to Vrindavan, and I want to come a second time. Of course, we know Mahaprabhu never came second time, but he told him, I want to come a second time. You find a nice place for me to stay. And second thing he said, you find out that old deity of Madan Mohan. So Sanatana Goswami found a nice place. It's called Dwadash Aditya Tila. Tila means hill. It's just down the street from Kaliyagat. So we know at Kaliyagat, Krishna was wrapped in the coils of Kaliya for 2 hours. So when he finally broke free, he'd been in the cold water for 2 hours. So he was very cold. So the Brishvasis took him up to that hill, and Dwadash Aditya, Aditya another name for sun, 12 suns appeared in the sky to warm Krishna up and dry him off. So that became Dwadash Aditya Tila. So that was a nice place. Jamuna was, at that time, now the Prikama Marg is there, but those days, that was actually the bed of the Jamuna. Jamuna used to flow right there below Madan Mohan. We have seen whenever there's a flood, then again the water is flowing right there. So he thought, this is a nice place, solitary place, and overlooking Jamuna, nice darshan of Jamuna. So he began to fix up that place. And sometimes he would go to Mathura for Madhukari, trying to find out where is this Purushottam Chobe. So one day, Sanatana Goswami was wandering through the streets of Mathura, and he saw this blackish cowherd boy running down the street, and he ran into some doorway. So Sanatana Goswami came in behind, and he saw that this was Purushottam Chobei's house. And he had 3 sons. Those 3 sons, they were playing with Madan Mohan just like he's one of their brothers. No respect. Just like another brother. Sanatana Goswami saw this, he was shocked. And then he saw it was a cold winter morning, because we know in our own childhood, when our mother, it's cold, so she didn't take baths, she just put some cloth and cooked some porridge for us to go off to school. So without even taking her bath, that Chobei's wife, she was cooking. And Sanatana Goswami became furious. You boys, you can't play with him like he's your brother. The Supreme Personality of God has so many rules and regulations. And look at you haven't even taken bath and you're cooking for the Lord. What is this? You don't know all the rules and regulations of deity worship. So that Chobei, he fell at the feet of Sanatana Goswami. He says, Gosai, we'll be more careful in the future. Whatever you say is right, we'll be more careful. So that night, Madan Mohan came in the dream of Sanatana Goswami, and he said, I was enjoying with my Chobeji family so nicely. And now you put all this rule and regulation, there's no fun. So next morning, Sanatana Goswami, he ran back to Chobeji's house. He tried to fall on Chobeji's feet, but Chobeji fell on his feet first. And Sanatana Goswami, whatever I told yesterday, you forget it. Lord is satisfied by your service, the way it is. And Chobiji said, well, last night, Madan Mohan, he came in my dream. He said, you have 3 sons to take care of you in your old age. Now this Sanatana Goswami, he's become very old. You let me go with him so I can take care of him. So he gave Madan Mohan to Sanatana Goswami. So he brought him, he put him on that hill. He just leaned him up against a tree. That time there was no temple or nothing. Nothing was there. And it was just forest. There was no Loi Bazaar, no Bharati Foods or Govinda's restaurant, MBT restaurant. So he just used to get some atta. He mixed it with Jamuna water and make little balls we call bati. Little chapati balls. He would just get some cow dung and light it on fire and put the chapati balls in there and with a stick turn them around, then break off all the black spots, and he would offer to Madan Mohan. So Prabhupada said, Madan Mohan, he began to cry. Are, every day you're offering this old dry chapati ball, this bati, you don't even put any salt. And Sanatana Goswami said, look, whatever I easily get, I offer. If you're not satisfied with what easily gotten in life, you'll never be satisfied. You have to learn how to control your senses. Of course, we can't imitate these dealings of the Lord and His pure devotees. But he said like that, now you're asking for salt, tomorrow you'll say, oh Gosai, it gets stuck in my throat, can you put a little ghee? Then you'll want sabji and sweet rice and puri. Where are you going to get all these things? If you want all these things, you make your arrangement. I'm doing whatever I can. So Prabhupada said, because Sanatana Goswami was offering with love, Lord had to eat this old dry chapati ball, this old dry bati with no salt, because it's offered with love. Just like ourselves, we think, oh, I'm a great devotee, I collect so much, I distribute so many books, I do so nice puja, I'm so great. We're just an old dry chapati bowl with no salt. Our service is just an old dry chapati bowl with no salt. Only because Prabhupada is offering our service to Krishna, he's accepting. That is our only qualification. So, shortly after that, there was one fellow named Kapoor. Now you know that anybody named Kapoor means he came from Punjab. So he was sailing down the Jamuna, and he was on his way to Agra, because there was a big mela in Agra. So he's going to sell all his merchandise in Agra and make a big profit. So somehow or other, just beneath that Dwadasa Titila, his boat got stuck on the sand. And he was crying and crying. And one little cowherd boy said, there's one Goswami on top of this hill, maybe he can help you. Because in India, we think sadhu means yadu. Sadhu means magic. Nobody goes to sadhu to ask spiritual question. Huh? I have, let me pass my test. Please give me a raise. My daughter is 30 years old. She's still not married. Please get my daughter married. For that we go to the sadhu. We never go for spiritual. So he ran up to the hill. He said, "Oh Gosai, this boy told me you could help me. My boat is stuck." And Sanatana Goswami said, "Who told you?" He said, "This boy." He said, Sanatana Goswami, "I'm just an ordinary jeev. He's a supreme Brahm. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. You ask him, what can I do? I'm just an ordinary jeev." So then he looked at Madan Mohan and his boat floated off the sand. So then he fell at Sanatana Goswami's feet. He said, "Oh Gosai, what can I give you? Gold, silver, pearls, what do you want?" He said, "No, I don't want anything." No, you must take something." He says, "Well, what is your cargo?" He says, "Salt." "Oh, then you break off a block." This guy is always crying for some stuff. So then he sailed up to Agra, and he arrived at the high point of the Mela. He sold all his merchandise for the highest price, and he came back and he built that beautiful temple of the modern Vrindavan. This is the first temple, Madan Mohan. And he arranged a nice kitchen, and he hired so many nice Brahmin cooks so they could make nice offering every day. Because Sanatana Goswami says, "If you want to, you make your own arrangement." So he became the disciple, Ramdas Kapoor, of Sanatana Goswami. He built this beautiful temple. And if you know where to look, if you go behind the temple, there's a little drain where the water comes out. And if you look, sometimes it's clogged and it's over flooding, you can't see. But you look very carefully, you'll see there's a little figure sitting where the water that washes the floor of the temple comes out. That is Ramdas Kapoor. Because ordinarily, if we build a temple, then we want our statue or our picture or our big name in lights, the so-and-so made this temple, blink, blink, blink. Ramdas, he put himself where the water that washes the floor of the temple will come on his head. If you know where to look, you can find him. So this is the story of Madan Mohan. So anyway, if there's any questions, we can try to answer your questions for you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. My question is sometimes generally we try to stick to the principles and the instructions given by Prabhupada, but still when we go into the material world, we sometimes the material desires.
When we go to
material world, when we come into the contact with the material world, when we go to the workplace, etc. Our material desires sometimes overpower our seriousness in the spiritual path and deviate us from it, and we tend to commit the sinful activities. So at that point of time, what action to take and how to restrict ourselves?
Well, Krishna says, Sarvadharmam Priti, just surrender to Krishna. Just like we moved to a new neighborhood one time, and way up the street, there was a hill, and way up the street there was a person who had a dog called a Great Dane. I don't know if you know Great Danes. They're about almost 5 foot tall. Really huge dog. So I was exploring the neighborhood. I was walking up the street, and all of a sudden this dog saw me, and he came running straight at me. And I just froze. What am I going to do? This huge dog is bigger than me. Yeah? Right at the last minute, he ran just past me. Then he turned around and came back. And I was just frozen. Then all of a sudden the owner saw what the dog was doing. And he came outside and said, bad dog, bad dog. He put his head down, his tail between his legs. So nothing I could do. But the owner came and said, bad dog. I mean, So Maya is always giving us trouble, but she's working under Krishna. Prabhupada says, when you become pure devotee, then Krishna tells Maya, you leave this poor boy alone. So we have to surrender to Krishna. One time someone told Prabhupada that the astrologer said in my chart, Sunny is very bad. Prabhupada said, I can kick hundreds of Sunnies. I can kick hundreds of Sunnies. So we just have to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. It takes practice. In the beginning it's very hard, but it takes practice. Just like we have a boat, a little boat, and we're learning how to row the boat, and the wave is coming, and our boat is going like this. Woo! We're not in the water, but if we think, oh, my boat is shaking, let me jump. Bloop! That's where the word came from, bloop, back into the material ocean, bloop. But gradually, one becomes expert, and the wave comes. Waves of material nature are always going to come, always going to bother us. But we have to become very expert how to float over those waves, just like this. So it will take time. Time and practice. We have to be patient and determined. Determination without patience is passion. And patience without determination is laziness. So we have to become very patient and very, just like Prabhupada gave the example. Young girl, she's married, so she said, all right, next day, where's my child? She can't say, yesterday she was married, so today where's my child? No. Brother, she serves her husband nicely, in due course of time, child will come. She can't say, oh, I got married yesterday, so where's my child? You go on serving nicely, and one day you'll get your child. You just have to be patient and determined.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is little different. Danveer Goswami Maharaj has written one book on brain drain.
On?
Brain drain. It's more, I'm not able to remember the exact title, but the essence is that, as you mentioned, the intelligence and celibacy are interlinked. So, when we indulge in sense gratification, especially sex, so you lose that intelligence, and that's what the theme that he derived. So, can you throw some more light on that? How is that it is interlinked, and how do we realize that indulging in this kind of sense gratification, your intelligence is not getting sharpened, and it doesn't really lead you to the right direction which we wanted to go. Hare Krishna. And eventually, is surrendering to the Supreme Lord will also, how it will help us when you maintain that celibacy and not indulging in sense gratification.
What was the last part?
How, you mentioned about surrendering to the Supreme Lord, and how this celibacy, when you are keeping it intact, that will help you to surrender fully to the Supreme Lord. Totally confused.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Anyway, 90% of our advancement is association of Vaishnavas. Mahaprabhu told sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. 11 matra sadhu sangha. 11 matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. So, just like Prabhupada gives the example, if you have one stick, easy to break. But if you have so many little sticks, but you bind them all together, then you can't break, no matter what you do. So, only by keeping association of devotees we can get the strength to push on in Krishna consciousness. We keep association of the Vaishnavas, we serve Vaishnavas as much as we can, and we'll get the strength to push past all the difficulties. %90 of our advancement associate. Just like if you associate with the people who like cars, we join the car club, and we're always painting our car and doing it. You become like them. Probably if you associate with the drunkards, you become a drunkard. So we want to associate with the devotees, and we'll become devotees. We should always have some older devotee that we trust, that we can reveal our minds to, just like that, what is that, nectar of instruction? It says, revealing one's mind in confidence and offering gifts and so many things. So we have to have some friends in Krishna consciousness to help us that we trust. Then we can make nice advancement in Krishna consciousness. Not sure if that answers your question, but that's, from what I understood, that's the only thing I could say. And to help us on our way, we have a nice book called Braj Leela Part 2. We just revised it, expanded it, improved it. Just 4 months ago, we reprinted it. And it's almost 300 pages and all wonderful leelas all over Braj. This is going from Javat back to Bisramghat. Unfortunately, Part 1 is out of print, but they're both independent. But we're going to revise it and expand Part 1 also. So if anybody wants a copy, we have them available here. And I'm also here to sign it if you want a copy. Hare Krishna. And it's transcripts of my lectures, so it's the way I talk, but not formal writing. The way I talk, that's what you get in the book. Oh, and we're just asking a small donation, 400 rupees. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So we are very thankful to His Grace Bandhu Prabhuji for coming and blessing us with his association by once chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. So we have a special gift for Prabhuji, this book about Prabhupada in South India. We request His Grace Anandmaya Prabhu to
Rajashekar Prabhu.
That's
Vrindavan.
Oh, Rajashekar. Oh, yeah.
Rajashekar.
That's
He published his book. Prabhupada in South India.
You were there for that Pandal in 75?
Yes, yes. Very good.
So I guess I know you from that time.
Yes. Very good.
I also met Basagos that time.
Yes.
Acha. Mahaprasad, okay. Now we. So if anybody wants a copy of the book, you can come. You can see our friends here and pay for the book, and I'll sign it.
So anyway, so devotees can come. He can take the book, and Dinbandhu Prabhu will specially grace the book with his signature. Hare Krishna.